So I had to do a double take because I'm like, is that seriously Wesley Crusher talking about the end of the world? Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd. And in this episode, we are talking about the first hour of Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was really, really good. A lot has happened in this episode that I didn't think was going to happen this early. And a lot has happened in this episode that kind of made me excited for tomorrow's episode. So let's jump right in. There were a lot of cameos up at the beginning of the episode. We saw Earth 9, Earth X. But the ones that stood out to me were Andrew Knox from Michael Keaton's Batman. I think it was Earth 89, which, if you watched the original Batman movie, you know that he was Vicky Vale's partner, or kind of in a way partner, who didn't know the real identity of Bruce Wayne. Probably still doesn't, but it was really, really nostalgic to see him look up at the bat signal and say, "I hope you're watching this, big guy." That was very, very cool. We also had Burt Ward, who was Adam West's Robin, who basically, of course, still has that voice. He's a lot older, a little chubbier, but he has like a huge jog walking down. I think their Gotham is Earth 66, maybe. I believe it's Earth 66. But that scene was hilarious. His reaction was pretty much what I saw in the canned version, a little cheesy version of the Batman series, which I thought was adorable. But then we had Will Wheaton back in National City, which is Earth 38, which is the universe that National City and Supergirl is in. And he's running around with this huge sign talking about death, brimstone, everybody's going to hell, Supergirl won't save you. And then, of course, Spike the Dragon, Alana's pet. If you watched earlier in season 4, there's an episode where there's a huge dragon that Supergirl ended up fighting, and his name is Spike, and he is the pet of Alana. And no, not the Spike from My Little Pony. She ends up saving Will Wheaton's character's life. And I'm just like, Wesley Crusher, really? Which was awesome, because I didn't know he had a cameo in it. But that whole interaction where she's like, turns around and says, "I guess I did save you, and then get the heck out of here." And he just leaves the sign and runs. That was hilarious. But yeah, so the cameos were very, very quick. So I'm kind of wondering if that's how the Smallville one's going to go, and the Birds of Prey and all of that. Because we did see like snippets of other people. So I don't know. They may be very, very quick. But okay, so moving on. We start seeing that Monitor is picking people basically from their timelines in the middle of whatever they're doing. So he does grab Supergirl. No, he doesn't grab Supergirl. Sorry. It's actually Harbinger that's doing it for Monitor. So Harbinger gets Barry while he's running, talking about his time. So he gets him. She gets Oliver and Mia while they're having a moment on the Mu, where he's talking about, "I've come to this island and it makes me mad, but basically everything I have is because of this place. So it was fitting that I bring you here." And it's such a cute little father-daughter moment. And then she kind of zaps them up too. Then we go to Argo City and we see that Lois is making fun of Clark not being able to change a diaper, which is hilarious. And they have such a cool moment in Argo City because it's so reminiscent of, well, I would say the Crisis comic, and I'm not going to compare it because, there's something with Alexander that happens. It's actually what happens with him in the comic books, but I'm going to completely bypass that because everyone that dies in the comic is not who's going to die in Crisis of Infinite Earths, because if they do, then we won't have Supergirl and Flash. But they're not going to die. So it's very, very reminiscent and shows homage also to Marlon Brando's character. And of course, was Jor-El in the original Christopher Reeve's Superman movie, where they're having to put their baby in a pod and send them to Earth. That's exactly what happens with Jonathan, because they have seconds. And Laura, Kara's mother, had built a little craft in case something like that happened. Now, I will say this. I don't know why they didn't think and say, "Hey, Krypton was blown up. Maybe we should have more escape pods, available for everybody in case stuff goes down." But whatever. They only had one for plot purposes, and which was really cool because both Lois and Clark were doing Marlon Brando's lines as they're sending their son off to Earth to save his life, and then of course Harbinger shows up and saves them, but not Alora. So Supergirl's mother is dead. That was very sad. And of course, we have Sarah and Ray are in a bar at trivia night trying to get free booze. And I think there's like a Janis Joplin trivia, and like they're talking about the last song she ever did, but it actually turns out to be something Robot Man, which is a reference to Ray, because when Ray tried to get a lock of her hair, she noticed him. And so he basically messed up the timeline, and now there's a song about him. That her last song is now about him. So Sarah was like, great, not only did you mess up time, but we get free booze. And of course, Harbinger shows up in the middle of the club with everyone seeing her, and then just teleports them too. She also grabs Batwoman, Kate Kane, while she's beating up one of the rabbits, trying to figure out where her sister is. And right when he was about to tell her, he said something about a sugar factory. And right when she's like, where is this? She gets snatched. And so when they all appear in the DEO with Alex and Supergirl and everyone, Kate pops her in the face. So Harbinger got punched. And I thought that was pretty good reaction, Kate. I mean, I guess. But Supergirl basically says, if Harbinger brought you here along with all the other heroes, then there's a reason, and she trusts everybody in the room with her life, including Batwoman. So then Batwoman takes off her wig and says, "Then call me Kate." And of course, then Oliver's like, figures, because they didn't know from Elseworlds that Kate Kane was actually Batwoman, because only Supergirl knew, because she can see through the mask, which technically is a violation, but that's fine, because Kate figured out she was Supergirl too, because everyone should know. It's fairly obvious. But anyway, back to the story. So everyone's going to make a stand at Earth 38, because the way the anti-wave is going, it's circling around once. I think they said in 5.5 hours, and when it comes back, it's going to destroy everything. And they're making a stand on Earth 38. They have these towers that monitors set up to basically, retract the effect the wave is having. So the skies are always red. And get redder as the wave is basically approaching to destroy the world, and the sky was clearing up with the towers. And so they need to protect this tower at all costs. And so basically when you say something like that, you already know something's going to happen. Somebody has to get hurt or die, or something's going to go wrong. Alex, being the leader of the DEO, basically talks to the president about evacuating everyone. And we're talking everyone on Earth. We're not just talking about everyone in National City. And to do that, they're asking all of the aliens who came to Earth on their ships to help evacuate people, as well as Brainy's ship is going to be used to for Legion to his Legion ship to evacuate people. But we're talking over 7 billion people. So, it's like, how do you get everyone off the planet in, honestly, hours? So they work out a plan, coordinate, and they realize that even if they can get people into space, if it's going to destroy the solar system around them, then what's the point? So then John comes up with the idea to basically evacuate everyone to Earth 1. And even though eventually it probably will come to Earth 1, at least they have a chance. So that's the plan, but they need Lena's help to do calculations to get them through the portal without disintegrating. And so Alex has to make the uncomfortable choice of going and talking to Lena, and she does this whole spiel about, I'm sorry, we broke your trust, we didn't tell you, blah, blah, blah. And Lena's like, yeah, I'm not going to trust you anymore, but why would you think I wouldn't help you? It's like she's more upset that they keep treating her like a villain, like her brother. She's like, why would you think I wouldn't help the world? Yeah, I do crazy stuff when I'm angry, and I'm doing it because my warped mind is telling me that I need to help people, not because I'm trying to control them like my brother. So there is a stark difference between her and Lex, but honestly, the villain mentality is there, and I don't even think Lena sees it. But she's extremely distrustful now and hurt and angry, and so yeah, there's a lot going on with that. But considering this is Crisis on Infinite Earths, we don't have time to deal with Lena's drama. So Lena decides to help, and so to save all of the people to be evacuated, so she does. So in lieu of that, we have the heroes basically coming up with a plan to try and defend this tower. So we have Arrow, Mia, and Batwoman are going inside to defend, and we have Supergirl and we have Superman basically trying to charge the solar panels at the top of the tower. Now, why they're doing this, so they tracked Jonathan's pod and realized it went to the year 2049 in Star City. So Lois is going to go because Superman's needed. So she's going to get their son. And then, of course, Sarah, White Canary, volunteers to go, and so does Brainiac. Well, when they get there, there's just Oliver, and the baby is there, but there's just Oliver. And after a little fight, Oliver recognizes Sarah. But in his world, Sarah never made it off that boat, off the, I think it was called the Galleon, or whatever the boat that they went on. They got him stranded on the island. She drowned. She died on that boat. She didn't get rescued by Raw and be trained into an assassin for Ra's al Ghul. She died. So none of the stuff happened. She's not with Legends and all that. So when Oliver sees her, he's shocked because he doesn't understand parallel worlds or anything, because that hasn't, what happened to Earth 1, Oliver didn't happen, to him. So it's very interesting to see that parallel of him first recognizing that Sarah's alive, and then also that there are multiple universes out there that he's not privy to and had no idea. And from the looks of where his arrow cave is, he doesn't seem to have any partners either. No Diggle, anyone. There's no one. So he has a very lonely life, and all he keeps saying is, "I've always wanted to see you again and to apologize for taking you on that boat with me." And him and Sarah have this really, really sweet moment where she's able to say, "If the Sarah of your world is anything like me, and you are anything like the Oliver of my world, you have to understand that it was destiny. She was meant to get on that boat. You didn't drag me. I went willingly, and everything that's happened made me who I am today. I'm basically with the legends flying around and happy." And I think he needed to hear that, that to me was very foreboding. And it really was like he was finding closure, because there was even a scene where Oliver gives a green arrow suit to Mia and says there should always be a green arrow in the world, which to me is like, okay, is he dying in this episode? Because everything was leading to it. And then it happens. So they're battling these flying creatures that are trying to take over the tower, and I'm going to call them time wraps because I don't know what the hell to call them. And, everyone's fighting. And, at this point, we have Supergirl, Superman, Batwoman. Batwoman actually gets her tech upgraded by Adam. And, of course, Adam's fighting Mia and Arrow. Well, Monitor says we need to save our strength after a while, because what they were doing is they were holding off these creatures so that they could get as many people off the Earth, because they knew that at this point they couldn't save the planet, but they wanted to save as many people as possible. Well, he started teleporting them all out. Well, when he went to get Oliver, saying, "Oliver, let's go," and Oliver's like, "Is everyone evacuated?" And of course Monitor says no, and he says, "Well, then it's not time," and he shoots Monitor so he can't teleport him with an arrow. And then he starts fighting until he's knocked down. He's out. He goes for his quiver. There's no more arrows. He drops his arrow his bow on the ground, and he charges these things, and he fights till his last breath. And what happens is Monitor's finally able to teleport his dying body to the rest of the group, and he gets to say goodbye. But one thing that stood out was, because he did that, 1 billion people were saved. He saved an additional billion people. They didn't get everyone. They got over like 3 billion. But that 1 billion of them was because Oliver stayed and fought those things. And so he saved billions of lives. So he went out with a hero's bang, or a hero's tribute. He basically got to say goodbye to Barry. He told Barry and Kara that he did it for them. So they're the ones that need to save everyone. He said goodbye to his daughter and said, "Please say goodbye to your mother and tell her that I love her, and find William and tell him I love him." He got to say his goodbyes. And then he died. And from the look of all the heroes' faces, everyone's going to be affected differently by this. I think I probably even read something like that. I've been trying not to read any spoilers because my birthday was actually, today. So when this is posted, it'll be the 9th, but today's the 8th. And so I was out, partying, and then came home and watched this on DVR, and I did not want to be spoiled. So I don't know how the heroes are going to react, but from the look of Barry and Kara, they're going to be deeply, deeply affected by this. Sarah, obviously, and Mia, obviously. Batwoman doesn't have a strong connection to him. She knows him, but she doesn't have a connection to him, so I don't know if she's going to be okay, we should do this, or, well, we're all going to die anyway, I'm going to go back to my Earth and do my own thing. I don't know what's going to happen with her. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on. So, Crisis Episode 1, the first hour, a lot happened, and they freaking killed Oliver in the first episode. So a lot of people thought it was going to be in the end, big dramatic thing building all up to his death. No, they killed him in the first episode, which I guess makes sense because we already knew he was going to die. So there was no mystery at that point. So killing him in the first hour of the crossover, that was pretty shocking. So yeah, good job, CW. So tomorrow night, we're going to see what happens. Or if you're watching this video today, then it's going to be on tonight. So I'll be doing another video probably on Wednesday. So excited. I'm also going to do a big talk about this with another YouTuber or content creator named Blurred Without Fear. He's been on some of my videos. He has a huge following. He's a comic book nerd. So check his channel out, Blurred Without Fear. But we're going to go over what we think about Crisis as a whole, and also how it compares with the comic series that we both love, because the comic series is very different from what's happening in the Arrowverse, but not a bad thing. And I'm excited for Black Lightning, how they're going to incorporate it. I was kind of on the fence about that because I didn't want Black Lightning to be incorporated in the Arrowverse, but now that it is, I don't know what's going to happen, what kind of changes are going to be made. We know he's not going to have his new suit that he got from I got the scientist's name, but basically during the occupation, Odell got him a new suit made by the scientist that I can't remember the name of. But the suit apparently, production-wise, was too expensive to ship from Atlanta to Vancouver, so he's going to have his old suit, which is fine. I don't know where in the timeline they're picking him up. I don't know if everything is still going on with the occupation in Freeland, or if it's, is it before that when he, maybe season 1 Black Lightning? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have Anissa and Jennifer involved in any way, which would suck. And there's tons of metas in Black Lightning. So I don't know if they're just going to pick Black Lightning, which they probably will. Maybe we'll get cameos of the rest. But I mean, not having Jennifer and Anissa help save the world is stupid, honestly. But, whatever. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so I enjoyed Crisis at Infinite Earths. I want to know what you think. Please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the nerd bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys. And if you have time, don't forget to check out some of these other videos.